Voila.
Okay, welcome everyone.
Yes, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for this Love Fueled Life Masterclass. I think we're going to just start with a centering meditation that Cal will lead us through. So go ahead and get comfortable and you can just center us.
All right, so just take a deep breath, close your eyes. Just start with a short centering just to get us started. So taking a deep breath, feeling as you inhale, feeling the air going into your lungs, feeling your feet on the floor, being totally aware of your whole physical body, all of your energy field that surrounds you, and just using your will to just relax a little bit more. Taking another deep breath, just letting it all go. Any tension, any stress from the day, allowing that energy to flow down and out into the earth, and just seeing your body filling up with white light. And taking another deep breath, see that light getting brighter, your body being completely filled. Bright white light. And one more deep breath and release. Totally grounded, centered, and alive. All right.
Thank you. So I'm just going to mute everybody just to keep the recording clean, and then you can unmute in order to participate. Go.
Awesome. So we're here to talk about the tools. This is our tools masterclass. How many of you were here for the 5-day that Jerry just finished?
Yeah, so who attended the 5-day training, the tools training? Put a yes in the chat just so we can get a bit of an idea. Yes, Danny did. Leanne, I think, had her hand up. Susan,
Awesome.
Phoebe.
Yeah, so this will be a good review of some of the things that you've learned over those days.
Yeah, and we'll be diving a little bit deeper and giving you an experience today as well. So this will be a great overview, a little more depth. And then at the end, we'll be inviting you into the 6-week journey, which I know some of you have already chosen to join us. Thank you. We're so excited. And that's the real deep dive where we practice living from love, led by love.
Yeah, it always goes deeper. And even if you're hearing the same thing, it's still deeper because you're new and it's a new unit of time.
Definitely. Did you want to share the screen or no?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so we have a little bit of a PowerPoint, but we also really like to just connect. So let me go ahead and share that. Shut these down. All right, can you see the screen? Is it not working? We're having some tech challenges tonight. There we go. Yes, can you see the screen? Just put a hand up. Yeah, good.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So, how many of you feel like you can handle anything that comes your way? That you have the tools to be able to handle all of it? Or how many of you can identify with this picture?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
I think that's people's favorite, right? How are you? Fine. And I think most of us can identify with this picture a bit. Oh man, This is interesting because whenever somebody joins the class, we can't find the cursor to admit them when we're screen sharing. That's
There.
funny. All right, we got it.
Yeah, and some people think they're fine. They legitimately think, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." But they don't realize how good they could feel. So there's definitely a gradient of good, better, and best as we progress along our journey. Some days we feel awesome, other days we feel not so good. And this tools training is definitely about how to make your good days even better and how to make your off days a lot easier to manage and the emotional roller coaster to be a lot less up and down and a little more smooth.
Most definitely. And Cal is definitely a person to assist you with that because he's one of the most zen, smooth people I've ever met in my life, where he really doesn't take anything personally and is pretty much feel good, I'd say. What percentage of the time?
Over 99% of the time.
Over 99% of the time. So type in your percentage in the chat about what percentage of the time in the last week or so, because there's been some serious, intense energy, at least that I've been experiencing. About what percentage of the time do you feel good? We're just curious.
I actually did the math on that. I was thinking, how many minutes a week do I spend feeling bad? And out of how many minutes I'm awake, not including sleeping, if I'm awake 16 hours a day, which is however many minutes, the minutes that I feel bad divided by the total minutes I'm awake, I feel good like 99 point something percent of the time.
You would do the math. Yeah.
So,
So I had to let somebody in again.
oh,
It's
okay.
not really working to let people in and do the PowerPoint at the same time. All right.
All right. So,
So who are we? Most of you know us. I think, is there anyone unfamiliar? Most of you at least have met me and know that I am a love coach. I'm all about self-love and forgiveness and deepening relationships. I've been really doing this business as a coach. Well, I started Living from Heart Center in 2012. And before that, I was teaching parenting, conscious parenting classes from 2009 to 2012. And before that, I was coaching a direct sales team um, from 2005 to 2009. And I was a school teacher as well. So I'm very passionate about helping people move from fear to love and familiarize themselves with that place, with that frequency of love, how to make decisions from love, and really operate from a soul-led, love-led life. And Cal and I have been working together off and on since 2014,
yeah, we're at the end of 13.
the end of 13.
Yeah, doing unconditional love retreats together and other courses and workshops.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of service.
So this is just a snapshot of some of the things that we've offered. There's my three daughters in the middle there, and studying with the Zen Buddhist master. Um, Me sitting with the Zen master after he and Cal rode the roller coaster at West Edmonton Mall together. And he expressed that that was like a near-death experience, and then he needed to just sit and meditate for a bit and center himself and ground himself. That was a pretty intense roller coaster. Some of you have probably been on it. And then, yeah, we led unconditional love retreats for about 6 years. So I'm really excited that Cal has said yes to co-facilitating our 6-week deep dive. So my intention tonight is really giving you a taste of Cal, since I already ran the whole 5-day training and a lot of you have gotten a good taste of me, and to just deepen the experience for you, give you an experience tonight where you leave feeling more calm, more centered, and more ready to be with what is, without the judgments in the way, and just be able to be confident that you have the tools, you have what it takes to handle anything that comes your way, and in fact, even come to that place of being grateful for absolutely everything as an opportunity for our growth, our evolution, and an invitation to love more and to transmute any blocks that are coming up that are interfering with your ability to love. So, Cal, can you tell everyone a little bit about you and your journey and what qualifies you to teach this?
Sure, sure. Well, I've been on this journey for 20 years. I started fairly young and got into meditation, Reiki, that kind of thing, and done a couple of 10-day Vipassana retreats, 10 days in total silence, meditating 10 and a half hours a day. That was transformational for sure. Read a lot of books, did a lot of courses, and listened to and observed a lot of very wise people, enlightened masters, to get myself to where I am today. I've done a lot of work on myself to transmute energetic blocks that I was carrying from this life, past lives. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of work that a person can do to awaken their consciousness and release what's holding them back. So I think we're all on the same journey. Ultimately, we're all going back to source and freeing ourselves to be completely self-realized and liberated and return to infinite love. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's been a powerful journey over the last 20 years, but I'm pretty happy with where I'm at now. Life is good.
Life is good.
Ah, yes, stop. Take 3 deep breaths, observe, proceed with loving kindness. This is from Deepak Chopra. It says his little STOP acronym. It's a nice reminder, just something you can remember to take with you as you go throughout the day. You can just do exactly that. Just stop, take 3 deep breaths, and as you're taking those breaths, observe the breath. Be in the moment with those breaths. And then once you're grounded and centered, which can happen as fast as that first breath, sometimes that's all it takes is one slow deep breath, and it resets you. And then proceed with loving kindness. Because when you're centered, you're connecting back to the love that you are. And then you can step forward from that place.
Yeah. So Deepak talks about how you need to come back to your beingness, especially when you're feeling triggered, then to use this acronym, because the difference between a reaction and a response, a conscious response, is a breath. And that ability to just be the observer of the sensations that are happening in your body, the thoughts. Come back to that beingness.
Yeah, and something I heard Sai Ma say, I don't know if anyone here is familiar with Sai Ma. Her full title is Her Holiness Sai Ma. She's an enlightened master who uh, has a lot of videos online. And in one of her clips, she was saying that if you just stop in the middle of your day, at some point, you just stop and take a deep breath and just be in the moment, fully present with that breath. And then at some point later in the day, do it again. Take a deep breath with full presence, and then at some point do it again. What she said was it has a cumulative effect, where the more times you do that, the more it's compounding and training you to to be in that new vibration and raise your consciousness. So I like that. It has a cumulative effect.
Yeah, and something so simple, right? So needed to take those pauses and just one conscious breath. I love this Rumi poem. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them all in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Yeah, so embracing the light and the dark.
Yeah.
Compassion, so important. Not just taking the spiritual bypass route and putting happy on top of everything, but actually acknowledging what is. Welcoming, in fact, what is.
Yeah. And in the tools acronym, the second O of the word tools is for open. And this has a lot to do with that. When you're welcoming the emotion, if some negative emotion comes up and you welcome that instead of resist, that's being open. You acknowledge the feeling, which is the observing part of it, and then you open up to that without resistance, and that's being open. And we'll definitely be talking more about that.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's a good quote. Surviving and thriving.
Yeah, how many of you know that you're in survival mode or that you have been? Has anyone visited there lately?
Most of us bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, have moments of stress and heaviness, and moments where we have more of an open heart and everything is light and flowing.
So we'll see if we can't tip the scales more toward thriving tonight.
Yeah. Yes. Non-attached. We could do a whole hour teaching on that.
Yes, attachment seems to be a huge thing for people right now. They're recognizing and realizing just how attached they are to their beliefs about themselves, their beliefs about life, their stuff, their relationships. And life is a process of letting go, and then letting go some more, and then letting go some more. It really is a surrender process, or as Michael Singer would say, a surrender experiment.
Yeah. And there's that phrase, things will happen when you least expect it. It's because you're not attached. When you've forgotten all about it, then you don't have the energy of resistance or focusing on the lack of it. You're just doing some other thing and boom, it shows up.
So there you go. Write that one down. Things will happen when you least expect it, which requires you to not be attached.
Yes. So tools, trust, observe, open, love, and serve. That's the acronym.
Let's dive in. Yeah. So this came through me in a time that I was going through a really challenging time in my life, a lot of health issues, and I was asking for assistance. And I was journaling out in the forest, just in a campsite. And thank God my guides and my angels were totally available and told me that tools is an acronym. Here's the tools you need. And they said, these tools you will use for life. This is the tools. These are the tools to help you thrive. These are the tools to help you live in love instead of fear. These are the tools to shift from the old paradigm, which is very fear-based and very head dominant, into the new paradigm, which is soul-led, love-led, and really all about thriving and really the aliveness, right? Allowing more aliveness into your life, allowing that healing energy. So it's also how to integrate all parts of us, which allows us to heal, mentally heal, physically heal. So these tools, every time I revisit them, it takes me deeper and deeper and deeper. And every time I'm having a challenge, this is what I fall back on. So when I shared them with Cal and really realized that he does live from this place, he had a lot to say and a lot to add. So I'm really excited to have you share tonight.
Yeah, when you first presented this acronym, trust, observe, open, love, and serve, and I reflected on the 20 years I've spent doing all the spiritual work that I have, it was very evident to me that each one of these is a critical element to awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tools for enlightenment,
Yeah.
for being who you are.
So let's get into it.
Yeah.
So, trust. The most important decision you'll ever make is whether you decide to live in a universe that is supportive and friendly or one that is hostile and unkind. Albert Einstein.
Is this a friendly or hostile universe? Do you trust the universe? Do you trust that what is what is needed to be, right?
And you may have heard the expression life is happening not to me, but for me.
And to me, these tools are even an invitation to take it one step further into life is happening through me. But are you available? Are you present?
Yeah, I know you've talked about the different levels of consciousness, and the one level of consciousness could be called like victim mentality or victim consciousness, where you're blaming and you feel like life is happening to you. And the next level up would be life is happening for me. And this is when you feel more empowered and in control, like you have the ability to create your reality and manifest things, and that the universe is supporting you in that. So you think, yeah, life is happening for me. And then a level beyond that is life is happening through me, where that's more of a feeling of being one with the universe, and there's this very divine flow. um, so yeah, in a nutshell, you could say that there's three levels of consciousness.
Well,
They're
I'd say there's four.
yeah.
Then life is happening as me, where really that is Christ consciousness, unity consciousness, no separation.
Yeah.
And where I like to work from is just inviting people into that availability, where life is happening through them, where they're an open channel and they can feel the aliveness all around them. And that actually requires a lot of surrender, a lot of trust, and a lot of surrender. So if you don't have this foundation, if you don't have a trusting, loving relationship with existence, with life, with God, with your higher self, then, like I said in the training, it's like standing on one leg. And any wave that comes by is going to throw you off and throw you out of balance and topple you. But if you trust that everything is happening perfectly and you are in partnership with life, with existence, then there's just this faith, there's this knowing that this too shall pass. There's a knowing that this is happening perfectly. There's a gift in this. And sometimes you can even guess right in the moment, if I knew that this was happening perfectly and there's a gift, 10 years from now, I'm going to be really grateful for this, even 2 years. Sometimes you can access the gift in the moment. And I think we have a story about that.
Yes.
You want to tell a story about that?
Sure. And just to add on to what you said, uh, you mentioned a knowingness that life is happening for you, trusting that things are going to work out. And what I want to say is, for probably quite a while, it's not going to be a knowingness. It's just going to be more like faith, where it might be intellectual, where you just tell yourself, I don't know why this is good, but it's going to work out somehow. And that's okay. You it's a good starting point to maybe approach it intellectually at first, if you're not really feeling the that the universe supports you, to just intellectually approach it, but by saying, I don't know why this is a good thing. It doesn't appear to be good, but I'm going to go out on faith here and say that this is going to work out to my advantage somehow. You just decide that. It's a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And you could, if you want to support that decision with evidence, you could look back in your past to things that didn't go very well initially and then worked out later. Because I can think of many examples in my own life where some catastrophe happened, and in the moment I was like, oh my God, this is crazy, this is terrible, or whatever. And but then later you look back and go, oh, I definitely am grateful that that happened, because if it didn't happen, then I wouldn't be where I am now, and this good stuff wouldn't have come from it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many examples of that. So
Yeah,
so we can use our past to reinforce our trust and assuage our doubts.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, to just come to gratitude for everything and also just do a little life reckoning and see if there's anything that you're not yet grateful for, that you haven't cultivated the gifts from yet.
Yeah. The mind is quick to judge, but if we connect with our heart, trust is a lot easier.
Mhm.
Take that breath, use that stop technique.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In the face of disaster, just stop and take those breaths and remember the truth within and decide that this is going to work out. Something good will come from this.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
the story that you were
Yeah, we have a
mentioning,
few stories we could tell, but
yeah.
but I like yours, your horseshoe one, maybe. Or
Uh,
whichever one you want to tell.
as far as trust goes, um, a simple story of how I've used this concept in real life is when I bought this house. I made an offer on a different property, and then I got a call saying someone else made an offer right before you, and it was sold to them, so you didn't get it. And maybe for a split second, I was like, oh. But then right after that, I was like, good, pop the champagne, because if I didn't get that first place that I thought I wanted, that just means the universe is gonna give me a better one. Something even better will happen.
Mhm.
I feel good about this. And
Yeah.
and that's what happened. Then the next place we looked at, we liked better, and we ultimately got something better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I didn't waste any time suffering because of that no. I just decided, yep, the universe has got something better in mind.
Mm-hmm. So think about something maybe courageous that you did in your life where you stepped out of your comfort zone and we're just coming from that place of just trusting your gut, trusting that there's a communication from the universe and something's just saying you need to do that. So I know when I moved up to the Arctic to be a school teacher, I was already teaching in Edmonton area, and I decided to apply up north just for the experience of being interviewed on a phone interview. I'd never had a phone interview before. So I had already pre-decided that I was probably not going to take this position because I had a temporary position in Onaway at the time. And I did the interview the same day that I got my wisdom teeth out. So I was pretty strung out on, I think, whatever they gave me after my surgery to remove my wisdom teeth. And I did an interview that I didn't even remember doing. The next day, they offered me the job. And even though I had already pre-decided that, no, I'm just doing it for the interview experience, my gut, something in me said that I needed to go. So I asked if I could take my time, if I could let them know the next day. And they said, you only have one day because you have to be here in 3 days. And I dropped everything and they came in and packed me up and I moved up north and my family was horrified. My father said, you're not going. Like, that's crazy. Like, what are you thinking? But I did it because there was a knowingness. I just had this solid trust, like something in me is telling me to go. That's where I met the man that I married and had 3 kids with, and it changed me. It helped to really show me who I was. separate from my parents. Like that, those were the first year was the best and the worst year of my life. It was crazy. It was so tumultuous and such an eye opener and just so beautiful and inspiring at the same time. But it completely shifted. It was a pivotal moment in my life where I say, before I went up north, after I went up north. I am so, so grateful that I did that. But it took, a lot of courage and it took a lot of trust.
Yeah, I love that story. And part of trust is following your feelings. If you get a gut feeling or a hunch to do something, trust is not just about trusting that the universe is making things happen for you. Trust is about trusting yourself and your own feelings. So,
Mhm.
because we and the universe are one, it's all one energy. So, staying in tune with your feelings is very important.
Yeah. I just realized we can't really see the chat from this. If anyone's typing in the chat, we
Oh,
when we're screen sharing, we can't really see it. So we'll have to check the chat later. But do feel free to type your comments and questions and such in the chat so we can check it later.
yeah, we can address all that at the end. Observe.
Mhm.
Quote from Michael Singer: as you pull back into the consciousness, this world ceases to be a problem. It's just something that you're watching. It keeps changing, but there's no sense of that being a problem. The more you're willing to just let the world be something you're aware of, the more it will let you be who you are: the awareness, the self, the Atman, the soul. Yeah, the power to observe. The fact that we have consciousness. If we use that consciousness in all of its power, we can really be the witness of everything and be at cause over all of our thoughts and emotions. The power to observe, very, very important.
Yeah, and we could do a little experience with observe and open too, if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah, yeah. Let's do that. So, what I invite you to do right now is just get comfortable, and we're gonna practice our observational powers. So, take your hand and hold it up in a relaxed way in front of you with your palm facing towards you. And just look into the middle of your palm, and it's not palmistry, so you're not analyzing your hand lines. You're just gazing gently at your palm, and you're not thinking anything. You're just being in the present moment and just looking. Mindful observation. If anything, just be aware of your breath as you gently gaze into the middle of your hand. We're just practicing observing, being in present time, being here now. And the hand is just a focal point to anchor us into the present moment. As we breathe, as we be here now.
Softening your gaze, relaxing, breathing.
And I invite you to be aware of the fact that you are conscious. In this moment, I am conscious. I am aware. I am here. I am looking. I am observing. I am being. I have no sense of need or doing. It's simply being.
Witnessing the sensations, Being the witness, noticing what is, with no story, just allow. Relaxed.
And taking a deep breath and release. And you can put your hand down. So,
Love to hear some experiences.
yeah, let's go to the chat.
Yeah.
So feel free to type in the chat any comments or observations. A process like that is definitely powerful at just totally resetting us.
Mhm. So what did you notice? Just in that short experience of being the witness.
I felt calm and centered, not at first, but a minute or two into it. Yeah, and that's important to note is sometimes it takes a minute or two, especially if we're dropping into a practice like that from the middle of a busy day, or we got a lot on our mind and we just think, oh, I want to take a few minutes here and I'll just gaze into my palm, or maybe I'll light a candle and I'll look into the flame, or I'll take some deep breaths and my focus will be on the breath. When you have one point of focus and you just be present with that, it's powerful. But yeah, sometimes it can take a little bit before you drop in and you really start feeling it.
For sure. Yeah. Joe says she stared at her fingers and an orange bronze color appeared on both sides of the fingers.
Mm.
So, yeah, sometimes the aura pops out.
Yeah, could be that you're seeing the energy there.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Uh, I just felt a comfortable emptiness.
nice.
It's one of our favorite words, just be empty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, be in the nothing.
Laura says, I was relaxed. Olivia says, I love that pure presence. Helps me to feel grounded, centered, and alive. Yeah, I definitely felt a vibration in my hand. It was getting so much attention, and I could just feel like I was energizing it, and it was energizing me. And yeah, it was like I activated the energy of my palm, my hand.
Yeah, yeah, feeling alive. That's a good comment, because when we are present, whether we're looking at our palm or a candle flame or focusing on the breath, when we're in full presence and not thinking, that's when life force energy flows through us the most, because the mind is what filters that life force energy and basically contracts the energy and limits our experience of the infinite. Our mind filters the infinite into something finite. It filters infinite possibility into some type of limitation. And so when we're in full presence and release the mind completely, we're basically opening ourselves up to be a conduit of this full flow of life force energy. And that's what gives us that alive feeling.
Yeah, and it's also extremely healing and aligning, right? It's aligning you with your truth. It's aligning you with love, with life. So already some of you are feeling that life force energy flowing through you more freely. Danny says the first couple of seconds was surface level, observations and judgments. Then I let go and observed a feeling of peace wash over me.
Yes.
Can you feel that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's letting go, it's unhooking from that mind, from the mental chatter, and just Arriving. I'm here. Doesn't take long, does it?
And no matter how long it takes, it's worth it. Once the mind lets go and you drop into that sense of aliveness and peace.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what if you just, and you don't need anything? You have a hand. You take it with you wherever you go. Yeah. Diana says, I like the exercises to break from the chatter. Love the single focus. Yes. Being with the nothing was wonderful, Rose says.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
beautiful.
and we were talking about the mind filtering the infinite and preventing us from fully experiencing life force energy. The mind could be considered the sixth sense. Um, you have the five senses: sight, smell, hearing, taste, touch, and the mind could be a sixth sense. And so, if we want to experience life force energy, the your universal divine infinite love in all of its glory, we have to release ourselves from our, not just our mind, but all of our senses. So if we can be completely still and release the sense of touch and just let go of anything that we hear or smell or taste or see, close our eyes and just go within, then all of those senses that basically filter the infinite into what we perceive in physical reality, if we let all that go, then we're increasing our capacity to experience the infinite.
Yeah. So true. So do we want to share and go on to the next? Okay, so this is a big one for people. The next one here. Open.
Yeah, open is
People are
awesome.
afraid to live life open because they're afraid of letting in the stuff and the darkness, and talk a lot about protecting themselves and shielding up, and which is necessary at times, and you usually get an intuitive hit when you need to like cocoon yourself with that light and that love. But I know Michael Singer is the best proponent of this, and it's all about allowing, right? And that acronym ALLOW, which I also shared in the 5-day training. Always live life open and willing, because otherwise you're in resistance. You're in resistance to what is, which is pretty much the definition of stress. When you're resisting what is, because it already is. So you might as well welcome it. You might as well be with it, because if you're welcoming it, think about that word. I'm the one welcoming it. You're affirming that you're bigger than it. You're affirming that you can handle it. But if you're scared of it, you're affirming that you're smaller than it. You're affirming that it's bigger than you. That's what an addiction is, right? An addiction is really a form of resisting what is and affirming that it's bigger than you. And sometimes it starts with that, like in the 12-step programs. The first thing you have to do is admit that you're powerless over it, that it is bigger than you. You've made it bigger than you. And you admit that. And eventually you enlarge yourself, partly by welcoming it, by opening to it. Right? So
Yeah.
the quote is, by closing your heart, you're not really protecting yourself from anything. You're just cutting yourself off, or cutting off your source of energy and locking yourself inside.
And another thing Michael Singer said is nothing is worth closing over.
Nothing is worth closing over. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I know there's debate for this one, because I see some of the chats like, no thank you, I'm not welcoming anything dark or anything nasty. Totally get that. Like, why would I welcome that? Like, why? So do you want to talk about that a little bit? Like,
Yeah. So what I would say to that is
Because it's sort of fear-based, right?
We're not inviting
Yeah, we're not inviting.
we're not inviting the darkness out there in the universe to come to us. That's not what this is about. It's about welcoming and being open to the darkness within us. Because until we're fully self-realized and enlightened beings, we have some darkness to work out on the way to get there. We have energetic blocks, things that key in and trigger us and make us feel all sorts of negative emotions. That's all within our own consciousness, our own minds that are holding on to this energy. So when we talk about being open and being willing, we're talking about being open to what's in us and allowing it to come up to leave, ultimately to free us. So
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with the darkness out there. Olivia, love is our protection, not closing, shutting down. Yeah.
Yeah, love is the highest vibration. So it's the ultimate protection. And I know you've talked about that siphon analogy. Do you want to share that?
Sure.
I think that's relevant here.
Um, yeah, what did I say about that the other day? I was talking about like if you imagine two glass beakers like in a science lab and there's a tube running from one to the other. If one of or if they're both half full of liquid and you hold each beaker side by side, um, like a siphon system is basically where if you have one vessel above the other, then the liquid can flow from one to the other. Whichever one is higher, the the liquid will flow down to the lower one.
Yes.
So if you are in your power and you're basically centered and
Love.
in love, your energy is high, and the if we call this other thing the negative, like in any negative energy that we don't want to affect us, if our energy is equal to or greater than the negative, then it's like the siphon system that if we imagine the energy as a liquid from this siphon, it can't get up to us if our energy, if our vibration is high because we're in love, it can't get up here. But if our vibration gets low, then it can flow down and affect us. So that's basically an analogy that could explain the mechanics of why love is our protection. And if we raise our vibration, then we basically become immune to the effects of outside influence.
Yes. Or I think, who was it that said that a lot of arrows are shot toward me, but none of them can reach me or touch me because they come from a place in which I no longer reside. Is that Einstein too?
Not sure.
Anyway, right. So when people shoot the negative arrows at you, if you're residing in a frequency of love, a higher frequency, then any lower frequency can't touch you because love dissolves on contact. It's the ultimate dissolver of everything. It resolves on contact. It completes, it heals. So when we learn how to, which is the whole goal over like our 6-week program, is really to learn how to operate from that place of love and not fear that requires us to protect ourselves, but to stay in that frequency of love and to notice like right away when you're not in love. And that doesn't mean that, oh, I have to cocoon myself because now I'm vulnerable. No, raise your vibration. And we'll be practicing that a lot together over the 6-week program. Like, what does that look like to really plug in, to really live from that place, to make decisions from that place, to tap into that place at will? And something as simple as just that mindful observation that gets you present, because your presence is love, and love heals. So then your very presence is a healing presence. And you can feel when someone is a healing presence. You don't even have to talk with them. You can feel it, right? It's an immediate, it's a knowingness, a gut feeling. Unless you're totally closed up, in which case a healing presence might come into your field. And in fact, you'll have an aversion to that person because it's such a difference. And so there might be a repelled response as well. But yeah,
Have you ever been in such a high vibration of love that you had total knowingness that negativity could have no effect on you?
totally. Yes. Have
Yeah,
you?
definitely.
So do we have some stories for these? Open and observed. Do you want to share?
Uh, yeah, for open,
Yeah.
going to the Grand Canyon was definitely an experience of being open. I remember when I went to the Grand Canyon and first walked up and looked out into the abyss of the canyon,
Mm,
the vastness and that amazing vibration just totally flooded over me, and I was in the state of awe, and and I felt like I was just soaking in all of these amazing energies of expansion, and that was a state of being open, because without openness I wouldn't have been able to feel nearly as much as I did. And I think a lot of us naturally open when we observe beauty in nature,
yeah.
whether it's a sunrise, sunset, a waterfall, a flower. There's certain nature scenes or experiences that just open us up, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And you can add the openness to that mindful observation experience. So you could, have a flower in front of you or a plant in front of you, or maybe you go for a walk and you just sit with a bird and open to it, open to that plant, open to that flower. So you can combine that mindful observation with just really opening to it. And just notice how much faster that gets you into this present moment when you combine opening and observing.
Yeah, if you spend time training your openness, then the magic will happen when you experience negative emotions and you apply that same openness to that. When you spend time staring into your palm and just being in the present moment and opening up to pure presence, and maybe you go for a walk in nature and you look at a tree or you look out at a lake and you just relax your body completely and feel the nature around you, and you're open to that, and you practice and observe what it is to be open. Then when you have a day where something triggers you and you feel negative, some negative emotion, maybe it's anger or sadness, grief, any of those, you go back to the your training of what what does it mean to be open? When I was looking out at the lake, when I was looking at that tree blowing in the wind, and I was so relaxed and open, let me go back there now. In the face of anger, in the face of sadness, let me open. And that's where the magic is. That's what Michael Singer is talking about.
Yeah. So just see if you can't come up with, a sunset that you've witnessed or something beautiful, the laughter of a child, something that opens you, something that you felt awe and beauty, and you just really connected with the beauty, which is the opening to love, right? Connecting with the beauty in everyone and everything is the opening to love. So just look for the beauty if you want to learn how to be in love. And then the next time, so just anchor it in right now, right? Like a little tap on your heart, a reminder of that beautiful moment where you were just in love and so present. And then the next time that you feel some anger, some sadness, some, triggeredness, tap on your heart and bring that back so that you can stay open, and so that anger or that trigger can really be resolved in light of your love. It can move all the way through you to completion, because every time we're triggered, it's an opportunity to complete the past. A trigger is something that's stuck in you from the past. And so if we can actually meet those triggers, I see you, I hear you, with some openness, with an open heart, bringing it into our heart. Or in the moment that someone's triggering us, be with the sunset, the laughter, and stay with them at the same time, and just notice what happens. That it doesn't get stuck. It doesn't add to your karma. It actually, the moment gets completed and resolved in the moment. It's a beautiful process.
Yeah. And we'll definitely be talking more about triggers and
Yes.
and transmuting energy in the 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big
Absolutely.
big part of it in our journey as a spiritual being, how to transmute those energies so that we can free ourselves.
True. One thing I really appreciate about Cal is his openness, because I remember when I went to Hawaii without him, and I had the most beautiful experience of a full moon and these waves coming in the day that I arrived, and it just completely put me in this sense of just like love overflow, where I had tears dripping from my face. I was just in awe. It was just this breathtaking experience where I just felt all this energy, all this love. And when I came home and I shared that experience with him, I just started sharing it, and he was so open that he just felt me. He just felt the experience. He connected and plugged into that experience, and he just started overflowing, and tears started dripping from his eyes, and we both just started laughing. So
It was like I was there.
it was like you were there. Yeah. And that happens to us quite often, just with our commitment and the safety that we've provided each other to stay open no matter what. Then you can receive. You can't receive when you're not open. You can't really receive the magic and the frequency and the vibration and the connection that's available, because we have so many heart walls, so many unresolved emotions. And some of us are very committed to keeping them. Right? This is who I am. This is how I know myself. And it's becoming very painful if you're committed to keeping them, because they are definitely coming up for people. They're coming up to be integrated, to be seen, to be loved. And once they're integrated, they become your wisdom. Right? So beautiful.
Yes.
Let's see what's next.
Love.
Love, love, love. Love's all there is. You can just forget all the others. No, just kidding. The others actually lead you to this. So that's the beautiful thing, is when you really learn to trust yourself and trust life and the universe, and then be the observer, like take on that witness perspective and not be so caught up and wrapped up in your story, wrapped up in your thoughts and emotions, but you're able to be in it and witnessing it at the same time. And then when you learn how to live life with an open heart and just stay open so that moments don't get stuck, they move through you to completion, and we don't carry resentments and collect resentments, then what happens is, if you live life open enough, you're just this vessel of love. And you can't help but be in love.
Yeah.
Practice the first three, and it leads to this, right? To an experience of the love that's already present. It's ever present. It's never not there, but we're blocked up.
Yeah. Talk to yourself like you would to someone you love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the good activities a person can do is just look at themselves in the mirror and smile at themselves and maybe make eye contact with yourself for a minute or two. Kind of like the palm of your hand earlier, but then you can do that with yourself with your own eyes and just be present with yourself.
Yeah. And in the 5-day training, that was the homework, was to set the timer for 5 minutes, lean into the mirror, and just repeat to yourself, I love you. I love myself. And pause and be the witness of whatever surfaces, because those are your blocks.
Yeah, if you have resistance to that and you feel negativity surfacing when you try and do an activity like that, then you can go back to the observe and open letters of tools. You observe the negative feelings arising and you open and allow them to come without any resistance.
Mm-hmm. So mirror work is a great way to practice them all the tools. Notice what arises. Notice if you don't trust yourself when you say, I love myself. No, you don't. Why do you criticize me all the time? Good information, right? And so then you get to meet that part of you and welcome that part of you. Do a little forgiveness work. Come back to love, come back to yourself. And if you keep showing up for yourself every day in some small way, so whether it's just sitting with yourself and being with your emotions for 5 minutes, whether it's mirror work for 5 minutes, then yourself is going to start to trust you. And you're going to trust yourself because you keep showing up for yourself instead of abandoning ourselves, which tends to be our habits, right? Our habit and our pattern of just abandoning ourselves, making other people more important than we are, not prioritizing ourselves, betraying ourselves by saying yes when we mean no, or no when we mean yes, right?
Yeah, if we think about why we would trust someone else, one of the answers might be because I trust someone else because I've spent a lot of quality time with them. And so if we do that for ourselves, it should increase trust with ourselves.
Quality time alone with yourself, right? Earn that trust. But do you really need to earn trust? You know, it's helpful though, that quality time. But we also just have a gut knowing when we can trust someone and when we can't, especially if we're open.
True.
But if you're not open, then you're way more likely to make a decision that isn't the aligned decision.
Yeah, I'm sure we've all had a feeling of something, and then our head talks us out of it, and then we see the result and go, I knew I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, almost always we have those red flags, right?
Yeah, our feelings give us the truth, and then our head convinces us otherwise. So that's the trust that you're talking about, that then, or when you're open and you have knowingness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
knowingness. Openness leads to knowingness, leads to self-trust. They're all interlinked.
for sure. For
Mm-hmm.
sure. Yeah. And on the topic of love, how to how to have a love-based life, live raw.
Live raw. So this is from Matt Canton, and I love this acronym. It's just one of those reminders to me of the habits of the ego, or the habits of fear, or to worry, to anticipate, to regret. So raw, I mean war, right? To be at war. And so the ego has a habit of being at war with ourselves and with others. In fact, it looks for war. right? It looks for and thrives on and feeds on conflict, internal conflict, external conflict. And so we know that we still have a pretty ego-led world in a lot of ways, right? The people that are, looking for something's wrong with them or something's wrong with me. Both of them are ego. Worrying, you're in the future. You're not here. Anticipating, even, you're in the future. You're not here. It's okay to have anticipation or excitement about something, but then come back to presence, right? And regret, you're dwelling, right? You're in the past. We could change anticipation to anxiety, right? That's in the future.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. I might even prefer that one to Matt Can's anticipation.
And the soul isn't in the past or the future. The soul is only now.
So the 3 habits of the soul. Respect, or being respectful, acknowledging, and welcoming of all that is, right? Pure presence. Respect, acknowledge, welcome what is. It already is. Can we be with it? Can we acknowledge it? Can we welcome it, including the darkness? Because when what you resist persists, so if you push it away, that's resistance. If you judge it, that's resistance. This is bad. This is wrong. I need to fix this. I need to change this. I need to get rid of this. Then you're basically in part of the problem. You're feeding it. Because remember that your attention energizes. So you're energizing it with your attention. And intention transforms. So that intention, let's just set the intention right here, right now together. To be in love. To be raw. And I love just that raw word. Because to me, raw, I used to say it's ready, able, and willing. So that's a good acronym too. And I would call in anyone who's raw, anyone who's ready, anyone who's able, anyone who's willing. So just to be respectful of what is. So just witness what is in your body. Witness the sensations in your body right here, right now. Welcome those sensations. Without the story that something's wrong or I need to fix this or change this in any way, shape, or form, just welcome. Welcome the sensations in your body. Welcome the feelings. Remember that what you're feeling, you're healing. Open to the feelings. Trust the feeling. There's information. Every little feeling of irritation or tension is information. It's an invitation back into love. Welcoming it, allowing it, letting that part of you know you're allowed to feel what you're feeling. You're allowed to feel anxious. You're allowed to feel sad. You're allowed to feel afraid. Just opening and allowing, acknowledging and witnessing. An invitation to soften, relax, and release. Breathing into the feeling, into the sensation. I see you. I love you. I'm listening. offering that part of you that love and forgiveness. Forgiven, forgiven, forgiven. I forgive myself for believing that I'm stuck. I forgive myself for believing that I'm not good enough. I forgive myself for believing that there's something wrong with me. I forgive myself for believing that I shouldn't feel the way I feel, that I should be different than I am. And breathe it in. I forgive myself for believing that I should be different than I am, that I should feel different than I do. I give myself permission to let go and let love flow. Taking a deep breath into the center of the feeling, the center of the sensation. Hold that life force energy, that love right in the center of that block. And then breathe and let it go. Surrender it. Release, release, release. Back to the source of origin for the good and evolution of all. Breathe it down into the center of Mother Earth to be composted. And then receive that love and support with the breath. That beautiful grounding love and support from beneath you. The love and support of the divine from above you. Bring it right into the center of that block, of any area that you're feeling some tension. And just love it. Even though it doesn't feel good. I allow it. I offer it some love. Your loving presence. And when you're in love, you're in the automatic healing zone. Your presence is love, which means whenever you're present, you're healing. You're healing yourself, and you're a healing frequency for others who enter your field. Which means that when you're in love, when you're in presence, you're in service. You are serving everyone and everything, including yourself. An invitation to greater presence, to plug into love. Just setting the intention to raise your vibrational frequency as high as possible in this time, in this space. Tuning in to unlimited love, to your infinite essence. Changing the frequency, tuning that frequency. Imagine that those telomeres, that those antennas on the end of your DNA are just tuning into love, lengthening, reminding you that you are that you are love, that you are light, reminding you of your perfection, even in the darkness. Touching that darkness with your light, illuminating it, resolving it. I'm here. I love you. I'm listening. Taking a few breaths in and out of your heart center. In and out of your heart, and bringing it all the way down into your belly. Just breathing and feeling your belly expand with every inhale, breathing in that life force energy, breathing in through your skin, just opening the pores of your skin and receiving life force energy. And exhale, relax, and let go. Couple more long, slow, deep breaths, breathing in that beautiful love and light, your divine essence. Letting it touch every single part of you, seeing your entire being filled up with light and love, glowing and illuminating. Exhale with gratitude to the universe. Inhale love, exhale gratitude. And taking your time and coming back to arrive in this time and space, feeling the aliveness in the cells of your body, the gratitude, the vibration. So just take a moment to witness, and to notice the sensations, the shift. And to really anchor in this frequency of love. Of what you are. You already are that. It's not about seeking for more of it. Remember that you can't really have more of what you already infinitely are. Your only job is just to acknowledge and release and integrate the blocks to love so that your energy can come back to flow. So to me, when I really inquired about what healing is, healing, when we're in dis-ease, there's a block that's not allowing our energy to flow freely. When we transmute those blocks using love and loving attention and our presence, those blocks just start to dissolve and they actually start to let go of you because they're dissolved in the frequency of love. And so really healing is being in flow, returning to flow, syncing up with the frequency of the universe, which is love, which is joy, which is abundance, and it's infinite. It's infinite. The acronym for WAR, Joe, is worry, anticipation, and regret. Or worry, anxiety, and regret, which are they're just meaning that you're not present. Your attention, you're energizing the past or the future. And so you don't want to spend too much time energizing the past or the future because life resides right here, right now. Beautiful.
What was that thing I heard you say before? Uh, you don't let go of your problems, they let go of you and they're loved enough?
Yes. Yeah. It's not your job to fix or change or get rid of your problems. Like it's not a problem when you're right here, right now. The Zen master would say, right here, right now, everything is all right. In this moment, everything is all right. And it's always this moment. So just that mantra, that 2-sentence mantra, in this moment, everything is all right. And it's always this moment. So if everything's not all right, the question is, where am I? What am I energizing? I'm energizing some story in my mind, maybe, based on the past, worrying about the future, right? And so then it's coming back to the present and having your presence hold space for the smaller part of you by welcoming it. Okay, this story, this energy, right? This block, this emotion, this sensation in my body, this pain. I welcome it. I hold space for it. Now there's a presence there, and the presence is love. Your presence is love. So all you need to do is spend time with the parts of you that aren't in love to bring them back to love, to remind them what it is to be in flow, what it is to be in perfect health, which is perfect flow. The more blocks you transmute, the more you're opening, right, to the divine loving presence that you already are, and this perfect health and perfect vitality. But yeah, it's a lot of I was going to say none of it's true. It's funny because when I get into the space, because now I'm in this love space, I can't access lies anymore, right? I can't tell you a lie. So I start to say something, it's like, no, that's not true. Oh, no, that's not true. Right? Yeah, you just come back to what's real, and what is real is love, period. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I love when that happens though, because I'm just like, yeah, no, I can see so clearly when I'm plugged into what's real. Like we see our bullshit and we can't even say it out loud. And it becomes kind of humorous, right? There's a lightness around this movie of life, and how it's all playing out so perfectly for our growth and evolution. Even when we're going through the haunted house in this Disneyland of the soul, right? And it's scaring the shit out of us. When we come to the other side, we're like, whoa, man, I was convinced. Everyone played their role perfectly, including me. I was so convinced. I was so in that. And we say, that was a good movie. That was a good haunted house. It scared the crap out of me. I laughed my ass off. You want the full spectrum. That's why we signed up for this. It's Disneyland to your soul. The full spectrum of emotions. All 88 keys of the piano, right? You don't just play at the top. And spiritual bypass, those other keys don't exist.
Yeah. Or you just don't just play the major notes and leave out the minor ones.
Yes. Yeah. And so that leads us to the final tool. Love in action is service. So Mother Teresa says faith in action is love, and love in action is service.
Yeah. Give what you want to receive. If you want happiness, make others happy.
Mm-hmm.
Be the source of that which you wish to receive.
Almost dead.
Almost 8. Is that clock right?
I don't know. Is it almost 8? I think so. Yeah. Let's just double check here. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about service?
Yeah, service. Yeah. Service is one of those things that tends to unfold naturally when we plug into the first 4 tools: trust, observe, open, love. The serve emerges naturally. The more we embody what it is to be a being of love, the more naturally we want to serve, and we just emanate love, and our presence is serving others, and we may take action steps to deliberately serve others, whether it's serving with our time, maybe making donations of money or other goods. I know you and I have spent years teaching love retreats and things. It's very much about serving and helping others experience the love that we've experienced, and feeling levels of freedom and raising their consciousness. It's all about service. And what I said earlier about trust, uh, there's trusting that the universe is doing things for your benefit, and there's also trusting yourself and your feelings. And so with service, there's doing things for others, being of service to others and humanity, and then there's being of service to yourself, which could be self-care, doing the actions that represent self-love. If I think of my own life, one of the things I could call an act of service was when I signed up for the 10-day Vipassana course. Being in silence for 10 days and meditating was a way that I was serving myself and giving myself the opportunity to raise my consciousness. And so yeah, I really followed my feelings on that one and just felt like, yeah, this is going to be good for me. So yeah, I would consider that an act of service to self.
Yeah, anything that really helps you to be more present, more happy. And I know Vipassana, I've done it once too, the 10-day silent Vipassana meditation retreat, and that definitely increases your happiness level when you leave, because you've just been so intensely present for 10 days. And so then your presence becomes, so not only did you just serve yourself, you served everyone in your life. When you come home, everyone can feel it. They can feel your presence. They can feel that shift. There's this beautiful, grounded centeredness. So you can start with just taking a pause in your life, doing the mirror work, gazing at the palm of your hand, opening to a bird, a tree.
Yeah, if you stop for a moment and just take one deep breath and feel the presence in that breath and that moment, you're being of service to yourself.
Serve yourself, put your oxygen mask on first, and then you can serve others, right? From that place. And we don't want to be serving from an empty cup, because that just depletes you even more. So make sure you're taking those pauses. It's really needed now to take those breaks, to go for a walk, to connect with nature. So make a list of everything that raises your frequency, that reminds you and connects you with the frequency of love. Remember that the window to love, the bridge to love is beauty, right? Look for the beauty. Get up and watch the sunrise. Watch the sunset. Sit with your animal for a moment and just be with them. So whatever that is, so necessary.
Leia says, I forgive myself for believing that I need to serve others from an empty cup. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so that's a good one to just breathe in. I forgive myself for believing that I need to serve others from an empty cup.
Yeah.
That's self-betrayal, really.
Yeah, if we don't feel like we have the capacity to serve others, it's okay to say no, to have boundaries and take care of ourselves first.
Yeah. So before we share with you a little bit more about the 6-week journey, for those of you that are considering joining us, do you have any questions, comments, observations? I'd love to just open it up. You can share about that experience that I led you through. If you have any questions about the tools, if you have any just deep spiritual questions, I know Cal is brilliant at that. Every time I have like one that I'm like, yeah, not accessing the answer, I ask him, and it's amazing because when I can't access it, he can. When I'm not fully available, he is. So it's pretty awesome to have someone in your life that you know is just open, an open vessel for that divine wisdom.
You're pretty amazing.
Oh, thank you. So Leah, do you have a question?
Hey there. No, not a question. Just, well, I did have a question until literally a moment ago when Cal mentioned that it's okay to set boundaries and that serving, and the example was you have Vipassana, me serving myself is serving everyone and everything else. Because when we started going on to service, I started thinking, man, my life's been living out for 5 years. I don't want to freaking serve. Like, I'm empty. I gotta fill myself. Why would I want to be of service? So, yeah, that last thing just alleviated everything. It's like, oh, yeah, serve myself. And that is in the highest of what is needed.
Yeah, for sure. And because we're all one, when you serve yourself, you are serving others indirectly. The energy all gets around.
Yeah, no is my new favorite word. Because for so long, and I'm embodying that now, because for so long I serve others or sacrifice my own well-being for the general harmony of the environment. And, I choose to release that now and to just focus on that love, on that centeredness. And the deep breath part that's so important. Just one deep breath to realize that I am awareness. We all have busy lives. I'm sure we all do. Like me, I'm a performer. Sometimes every minute counts. Well, yeah, every minute does count. It's super high pace, but to know that there's only one moment in the grand scheme of things, and I always have access to presence, love, and healing because I am awareness right now, and all that exists is now.
Yeah.
So good. I'm glad I tuned in today. This was super helpful. Even if I've heard most of this material, there's definitely some things I've really sunk in deeper on a deeper level. So thank you.
Nice. Yeah, you're welcome. And like you said, just sometimes taking one breath can really help. And what Saima said is it's cumulative. So if you take one breath now and one breath 10 minutes from now and another one an hour from now, they all add together and it's all helping.
It's funny you mentioned Saima because I looked her up this morning. I was feeling tired and it's like, I want to just chill out and listen to some info. And then I thought back to you mentioned Saima. I'm like, let's check her out. And so good. In alignment.
Yeah.
Okay,
Awesome.
I'm gonna go dance. Love you, everyone. Bye.
Love
See ya.
you. Thanks, Leah. Yeah. So just remembering that, love in action is service, meaning that, when you're so full of love and you've experienced so much love and you've opened up to love, there is a natural, organic part of you that when you're in overflow, you're going to want to serve. That desire just comes. How can I share this? How can I use this to assist others, to be in service? But it's okay to just, keep filling yourself up. And especially when you notice that you're serving from a depleted state, from an empty cup, very important to serve yourself first, knowing that that is whatever you do. If it's in your highest, it's in everyone's highest. It's always in everyone's highest for you to do what's in your highest, including saying no. So just trust that if it's in your highest, if you do what is in your highest, if you do what you would do, if I really loved and trusted myself, what would I do? That question, that is in everyone's highest, because then they get the best version of you. But somehow we've been taught that self-love is selfish. It's the opposite. It's the most loving thing you can do for everyone. Yeah. So Joanne, come on in.
The one thing that I really, how shall I say, struck a nerve for me, for lack of a better term, is the remark where you commented with the mirror work in conjunction with we spend quality time with others because we like it and we value it. And yet, how often are we spending quality time with ourselves in front of the mirror saying we like spending time with us?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it kind of gave me a little bit more of a relaxed approach, if you will, for doing the mirror work, that you just go, oh, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But why is it uncomfortable? We give our time to everybody else, so why are we not doing it to ourselves?
Yeah. Think about going on a first date and those first date jitters. You got a bit of nerves. You're not sure how it's gonna go. if you're not used to mirror work, it's kind of like that. You're like, this is awkward, or I'm not sure about this.
The first date with yourself.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And so change the nerves and the anxiety into excitement just by breathing, right? One of my favorite quotes is anxiety is just excitement without the breath. Fear is just excitement without the breath. You know, move toward it, breathe into it, invite it. You're getting to the edge of some growth. You're getting to the edge of your comfort zone. And when you say like, oh yeah, that's uncomfortable. I don't want to, you know, that's like saying, would you say to your best friend, yeah, I don't really want to spend time with you. That's uncomfortable. Right? You have to be your own best friend. Like, absolutely, I look forward to spending time with my best friend. So that's just showing you that you're not your own best friend. Not yet. So cultivate that friendship. You need to spend quality time to cultivate a friendship. And you need to spend quality time with someone to really trust them and feel safe with them. No wonder our emotions don't feel safe with us. I'm not going to share with you because you're not even going to be there for me. You're just going to abandon me like you always do and make everyone else more important. So literally, if you set the timer for 5 minutes and do mirror work or just sit and go within and spend time with your heart, your emotions, then a lot of those blocks just start to let go because they finally feel safe for the very first time. You need to provide yourself with that safety. Okay, and yeah, I love spending time with you, dear heart. I love it. You're so precious to me. You're so beautiful. What would you say to that best friend? You really do need to be your own best friend. And just one moment at a time.
Yeah, and for anyone here who's attended Jerry's Ho'oponopono workshops, uh, sometimes one of the phenomenons at the end of the workshop is the realization that we've felt a deep sense of trust in the other participants who we had never even met before, where they were before that event they were strangers.
Yeah.
And now we've felt a connection and there's some sense of trust. And if you ask the question, how could I trust somebody who I barely know? I feel a good answer to that is because a safe space was created to feel that trust, that connection. And so how can we create a safe space for ourselves when we're trying to spend quality time with ourselves? It's important to create that safe space, that openness.
Yeah. And some people have that feeling lonely or a longingness for connection. And so usually that's actually an invitation. If you're feeling alone and feeling lonely and longing, that's an invitation to connect with yourself. Start there. So arrive with the one that's longing, arrive with the part of you that's lonely, and fill it up with your love, with your presence, with your attention. Your attention is presence. So it just usually means that you're Netflixing instead of actually spending quality time, right? You're on Netflix or you're eating or you're scrolling through social media. If there's that feeling of aloneness and that longing, so pay attention to it. It's asking for something. There's an unmet need under every single emotion that doesn't feel good. There's an unmet need. So welcome that emotion and ask, what are you needing? Ask, how can I love you more? Ask the scared one, how can I love you more? Ask the anxious one. Ask the depressed one, How can I love you more? What are you needing? It's a practice. And eventually it'll let go of you because it knows you're not going to abandon it, that you just keep showing up. You've proven yourself that you keep showing up. You keep providing the safe space, and it lets go. And when it lets go, there's this aliveness that flows in, greater flow, more of a direct connection with your truth and your essence.
Yes. Freedom and liberation can be yours.
Yeah. Did you want to share any stories around love and serve?
I think
Something else?
I feel pretty good on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments before we finish up here? Has this been helpful? A good reminder? Hopefully. Yeah.
Awesome.
You know, it's simple, but it's deep. And it keeps meeting you where you're at, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and the 6 weeks we've got coming up starting next Wednesday, we'll get to spend an entire week on each one of these. So, like Jerry said, it's simple, but it's deep. And the deeper you go, the more you get out of it, the more you expand. And so to spend a whole week on each of the tools, a week on trust, a week on observe, a week on open, love, and serve, you really get into the depths of each one and give yourself the time, because it takes time. We're in a physical universe. There's space and time. Things aren't all instant manifestation all the time. It can happen, but usually things do take time and work in a gradient where you start where you're at and you just keep it slowly expanding further and further. Like over the last 20 years, I've definitely watched myself go through this gradient and progress, and it's not completely linear. Some years I grew more than others, but it's a gradual progression to where I am now. And so one thing that comes to mind is the book The Four Agreements.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are familiar with that book by Don Miguel Ruiz. So the Four Agreements, just to recap, is be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. Those are the four agreements. Each one is very powerful. And when I came across this book, someone recommended it to me. It really resonated with me, and I took it to heart, and I applied it in the way that I'm describing right now about the depth of things, that how this tools course is a week on each one. When I went through the four agreements, I started with the first one, be impeccable with your word. And I spent a month on that one every day. And then the second one, don't take anything personally. I spent a month every day on that one. Don't make assumptions. Another month every day. And always do your best. Another month. And after 4 months, every single day, pretty much all day, it was my obsession.
Yeah.
To master the four agreements and make it a habit, a practice, something that I didn't just know intellectually. It was a part of me. And it changed my life. After 4 months, I was totally different. The way that I saw people, the way that I saw life and interacted with everything, it was a huge change.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing I noticed about you right away is I'm like, he seems to not take anything personally, like ever. And that's so rare, right? To actually be able to, I could say anything to you. And when I first met you, I was testing you. I was pushing your buttons. I'm like, okay, what the heck? Like, this guy's got to have some stuff, right? Some triggers. But he never took anything personally. And he just seemed so open. And just the tears would just fall and he just transmute energy. And I'm like, who are you? And what have you done in your life? So it just intrigued me so much. I was so curious about somebody that just seems so divinely connected and to never take anything personally. And yeah, and the commitment, like when you say you're going to do something, like your self-discipline is impeccable. So, so yeah, I'm thinking we should change this to 6 months instead of 6 weeks, since you said it was a month on each one. No, we'll start you with the 6 weeks, right? Where we spend a whole week, right? Where that's the sole intention. Is just noticing where you're not trusting yourself, noticing when you're not trusting life, and having some practices to level up, level up, level up. Because this has the power to just completely shift you into a whole new level of consciousness, into a whole new operating system. And I love Rumi's reminder that the universe, and this earth is our mirror. And when you look in a mirror, you see yourself, not the state of the mirror. Because often we'll just, the earth is in a shambles, everyone's this, everyone's that, and just keep externally focused, right? But what's happening on the planet, it was already in there. Now everything's just being revealed. It's all just coming to the light, right? All the shadows, all the darkness, all the conflict, all of the things they're coming up to be seen. And we're no exception. We are the neurons of the earth. We're completely connected to the earth. So if all your stuff is coming up, you're right on track, right? And so it's an opportunity to just welcome whatever's coming up in you, hold space for it, and love it. Come back to love, come back to love, come back to love.
Yeah, we're not going to be spending a month on each one, but a week is still pretty good.
It's still pretty good, yeah.
So for those of you who can sense the depth in each one of the tools and want that support structure and guidance to do the work and go deeper, then the 6 weeks is definitely something to consider.
Yeah, here's our little baby. Awesomeness achieved.
Yeah.
So here's our 6 weeks that's coming up, called the Love Fueled Life. It's an immersive experience, so we really are focusing on the experience, where you're actually going to leave every single day with an experience, and we're connecting deeply with ourselves. So you have to be willing to be uncomfortable, and remember that life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And the most fulfilled people in life, no exceptions, they've gotten comfortable being uncomfortable. They're okay with being uncomfortable. In fact, they even seek that. Okay, I'm flat. I'm not feeling any excitement in my life. That means you haven't done anything that scares you enough. So look for something that scares you just a little. That nervous-sided energy, that's the edge of growth. One new thing every single week. Let's get some of that flow, that excitement back in our lives. The fun factor. Most people, that's just totally waning. And I'm not an exception. That's why I'm doing this now. I'm doing this because I was feeling a little bit flatlined. So I needed to challenge myself and remind myself of the tools and immerse myself in this work and already I feel a huge shift just from the 5-day training. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot who I was, right? And we all do.
Yeah, when Jerry mentioned the idea of doing this, I felt led to say yes. When I think about all of you and seeing you expand your consciousness and increase your level of personal freedom and awareness of the true self that you are, the love, that excites me. And it's an honor to be a part of this and lead whoever feels called to be a part of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Danny, do you have a question?
I just wanted to, I was just, you both were talking and it just things came to me. So, no, I was just thinking because Cal was talking about, we do live in the physical reality on a time and space, right? To a degree. So I was thinking 1 week is actually perfect, because this is gonna be my first time doing it, but I think that's a perfect amount of time to absorb each topic and without going too long and too intense. but I think like I was also thinking about this is going to be perfect, I think, for anyone who's even done these tools before to redo it, because to me, it's like reading a good book after you've gained life experience or you've delved deeper into yourself, or you know, we all become different people. We're constantly changing and growing throughout life. So it's like when I've gone back to read like a spiritual book or something, and I'm in a different place in life, and I read it and I get something totally completely different out of it because I'm in a different space personally. So it's like it's good to even like redo things, I think, because you're now in a different place. So there's a good chance that you'll get something like completely different out of it this time, or just something deeper. Like as Cal was talking about, just taking that deep breath each day, you as you it's like these tools, you redo them, you're compounding them over and over. So I noticed just like in the 5 days I did some repeat mirror work, and then like I found it easier, and like it just like after doing it the first time, which took me a little bit, when I did it like the next day, it was like instant that I could go into it and get something completely out of it. So it's like maintenance on a car almost, right? You do it more and more, and it's like almost necessary to keep up with it, to so you stay on track, you know. So I just wanted to say like it's going to be my first time doing it, and it just struck me that a week I think is actually a perfect time for a first timer like me. But I was also called to say like just like with anything in life, the more you do something, the more you either get out of it, or the more powerful it becomes. So it'll be good on that aspect too. That's just all I wanted to share. So
Yeah. Thanks, Danny.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes.
A new unit of time. I like that phrase to describe that we're always a new person in every moment, and the more teachable we are, the more we can get out of something, even if it is something that we've been exposed to before.
Yes. And I can tell you right now that at least half a dozen people are doing it for a second time. And it was like a no-brainer, right? Because they know. And they know that every time I do it, there's something different that comes through. Every time Cal does. So this is, I think, the third time. So Cal and I did one a few years ago, and it was $895. We're not charging that much now because I can feel the energy of how much it's needed, and we want it to be more accessible. So we did this a couple years ago, and then I did it again just by myself, and now we're doing it again together. And it's for us, it's for everyone. These are the tools. So yeah, I just have a few testimonials on the next couple slides with people that have worked with me, people that have worked with Cal and I. So this lady, she did actually trilotherapy with me, and she says in 4 short but long months, she made incredible progress, more than she made in her previous 20 some years of therapies combined. She's had more earth-shattering breakthroughs, more deep healing, and more understanding of who she was than ever before. So she ended up with just this beautiful sensation of loving herself. These are from our love retreats together, most of them. I haven't updated the slideshow for a bit, but just so Cal and I working together, right? Daria says that we're pure love and wizards at setting others free, which really is kind of our both, I think our core value is like freedom, right? Living authentically, expressing authentically. I think Daddy's even in here from an unconditional love retreat.
Yeah.
Other people should attend this to begin to feel again, to find purpose, to feel love and belonging and have meaning for life. Yeah. I highly encourage those who are searching for healing and to change their lives to attend. You know, this is a community, so the laughs, the cries, the friends, you will get to know people. You will be plugging into a community that is very heart-centered. A chance to express yourself openly without judgment. You know that, and it'll open things that maybe you didn't realize were even in there. It will help you resolve stuff that you didn't even know was a block. Right? Peeling back the layers.
Yeah. That one testimonial said, I feel a sense of peacefulness that I haven't felt in years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always love when people have an experience that's so powerful like that.
Right. Yeah. And last time I think we called it, an invitation into perpetual peace. Like actually experiencing inner peace, being able to find that ever present space of inner peace no matter what is going on outside of you. Like to know how to access that, to know how to return to that very quickly, right? But it's a practice. So this is definitely a 6-week practice. It's actually a 7-week practice because I'm adding an extra bonus Q&A. And for you guys, if you put in the code "Love is the Way," if you're on this masterclass,
You
you
just
will
typed
get
it into the chat.
$100 off. So yeah, so the code, promo code, let me just, okay, is "Love is the Way." And then you'll get $100 off. So we're charging $695 instead of $895 this time.
The link.
You'll get it for $597. And I think you do need the link if I can pull that up again. Okay. Yeah, I think there's some of you on the call that have already committed. And then there's some new people on the call. So now I just, for some reason, the PowerPoint just quit on me. Strange.
Gonna go find it now.
Gotta go find it now, yeah. Go to,
Well, yeah, one thing about these tools, like I was saying at the beginning of the call, is that I feel good over 99% of the time. And you can definitely use these tools to increase your percentage of feeling good. Because like I'm sure we've all had moments where we feel off and we're in a negative place. And it doesn't just last a few minutes or an hour even. It's like hours and hours or days. And these tools are basically a way to get you the ability to reduce that time that you're spending in negativity, so you turn it around and get back to feeling good again much quicker. So it's not that you're gonna feel good all the time, but that when something triggers you and you feel a negative emotion, you know how to deal with that. You have the tools, and you're able to process that energy, transmute that energy, and return to feeling good much quicker.
yeah. So Joe asks, will the 6-week course be on Zoom? Yes, it'll be on Zoom once a week. Yeah, one call a week, and then with practices. So you will have homework practices to do the whole week long, and then there'll be a little check-in the next week, and then we'll dive into the next tool, give you your practices. Yeah, so on Zoom, 6 weeks. The 7th week we'll decide with you when we're going to do the Q&A bonus week. And there are a whole bunch of bonuses. So if I typed in the chat the link, and if you go there, it shows you all the bonuses. And those of you that know me know that I under promise and over deliver. So I am available to you for those 6 weeks. And so if there's something that happens in between, you can text me. You can say, hey, can we jump on a quick call? You are not alone. So we are here to support you through every single step of the way. The times will be from 6:30 Mountain Time to 8:30, so 2 hours on Wednesday nights. And we're starting on the 28th, so next Wednesday. So the 28th, and then it'll go till July 2nd, and we'll have also a bonus Q&A in there where you can ask us anything and get some laser coaching.
Yeah.
And we'll also have those opportunities, of course, to ask questions each week and provide, a little bit of laser coaching for at least a few of you. And Leah's asking, yeah, you're going to be in France. So yeah, France, yeah, I don't know. They are recorded. The calls are recorded. So I know that some people have signed up that are not able to attend every single time. That's okay. You'll get the call recorded. They do build on each other though. So I would recommend watching the call you missed before attending ideally before attending the other call, if you can, get it in when you can.
Well, you'd want to, if the time zone difference is an issue, I would recommend watching the recording within the next 24 hours so that you have the whole week to practice the concepts.
Right. So you can do it all without even attending live. You can just literally get the recordings, right? And then they're yours to keep with all of the homework. And I have no problem just leaving it there for you, right? To access again and again. Yeah, Leah attended the Perpetual Peace course. It'll be some the same and some different. Because we're different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to be looking at, the notes of what we've taught before and then highlighting the pieces that we think are really pertinent and really important. And then, there'll be different experiences, different dyads, different exercises. And so you'll always get something new. Yeah, we're definitely not scripted, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Here's our notes, just a little. That's it for tonight. Is we had each tool written down and a possible story we could tell with each tool. That's it. So we just
Speak from the heart.
do speak from the heart
and our experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have a binder. I have so much on this, and so I'm just gonna, pick out what feels right. I meditate, and usually I get downloads like the day of or the night before of what you guys are needing. So once we're plugged into who is in that group, then it's like we have a soul connection, and your souls will communicate with each other, with us, and we'll just get out of the way and and just be ready for a deep dive.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably going to be some overlap with the Perpetual Peace course, but then there's going to be stuff that's new and the main thing is you're different. So in a new unit of time, whether it's something you've heard before or not, you can always go deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all. How long will the 5 days be available in the Facebook group? I've been asked to keep them up. There's been a few people that have watched them that are inviting people into the group. And so I'm just going to keep them up for now. And so at least a couple weeks, actually, at least a couple more weeks, because it just feels like people need them. So I might just keep them up indefinitely. So definitely, there's a workbook with the 5 tools there. You won't get a workbook. It's different. The deep dive is different. It's very experiential. So the 5-day tools, that's the workbook. That's like the overview of all the tools. So you do have, you have some time between now and the 28th. So if you haven't watched the 5 days in the heart-centered living community, it's all under guide number 15, all of it. So you have easy access. Yeah, you're welcome, Joe. Starts on the 28th, yes. The homework, time commitment for the homework, we don't make it not doable. For example, if we ask you to do mirror work or some connection with yourself, that's like 5 minutes a day, And then sometimes we have suggested, journaling and inquiries. But really, it's just, I would say there's going to be like an invitation to do something every day that's only going to take 5 to 15 minutes most of the time.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. It's really about your own initiative, where what we're offering or the homework that we give and the time requirements that we recommend are going to be super reasonable, 15, 20 minutes. But if you're the type of person who really wants to go deep with this and has a lot of initiative, you could do it for an hour or two. It's totally up to you. If you want to get as much out of it as you possibly can, the type of things that we'll be offering are things that are very scalable, or you can just do it more and get more benefit.
Yeah, I'm getting that it's like a meditation, right? You can meditate 5 minutes, 3 times a day, or you can sit for an hour. And you'll be able to do things like that with what we're doing. Like you can split it up into several times a day, or you can have a bigger practice time, and you're going to find what works for you. You're going to do a check-in with your body and ask your body, your mind, your soul, what is it needing? And you can even muscle test, like, okay, I need to do this every day, 3 times a day, every day for 15 minutes, every day for 5 minutes. Like we can help you discern what that looks like.
Yeah, the tools are powerful, and we live this stuff, so we're teaching from experience. We've proven in our own lives that this stuff works, and now we want to share it with you and see you get the benefit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Joe, did you have a question?
I just wanted to add to that. The reason I was asking that question was not for the perspective of homework avoidance, but the reality is that I'm going to be on vacation for 2 weeks in the States
Okay.
and traveling. So it's like, okay, can I squeeze this in
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually,
and
it's
be effective with it and give it the attention that it needs? Or to your point, where if the timing's just not right, do I not book now and hope that you offer it again?
Yeah, no, the type of things that we'll be discussing and recommending are easily doable anywhere. It's not, being on vacation is not an issue.
yeah, because that's the whole idea is we want to help you, come from this place in life, in your daily activities.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the difference between, mindfulness and meditation, where meditation, you might need to just sit and clear that space and be in quiet and stillness, where mindfulness, you can meditate while you're doing dishes. You go for a walking meditation, you do a teeth brushing meditation, right? Because you're just fully present while you're brushing your teeth. So it'll be a lot of that, a lot of things that you will use your life experience to assist you in practicing these tools.
Yeah, some people might argue that's not meditating, but you get the point. It's mindfulness, and it's all about, it doesn't matter where you are in your day, if you're in a loud place, a quiet place. It's how to use these tools anywhere, anytime, to get benefit and expand your consciousness and increase personal freedom.
Well said. And for the few pieces of homework where, you do need to just like sit and be with yourself, prioritize yourself. You got to make yourself a priority, even when you're on vacation, to just find, all right, when is that time? Maybe I can get up a little bit earlier than everyone else. Maybe I can take a little walk by myself for a half hour. So, yeah, you don't have to be a monk in the forest by yourself. No, Danny says. Nope, you absolutely don't. So, yeah, any other questions, comments? Sweet. All right. So, please message me if you really want to join, if money is an issue, if you want to set up like payments and spread them out more, if your time is an issue, if you have any questions at all, anything that you need assistance with, or if you really want to connect in, like, is this the right thing for me? Connect with me. I will set up a call with you and we can discuss it. Right? So don't be on the fence. That's very, very huge energy drain, being in indecisiveness and being on the fence. So you don't want to stay there.
Yeah, make a decision, be decisive.
Yeah.
That's part of taking your power back and taking charge of your own life. Whether it's a yes or a no, be decisive.
Yeah. And if I don't know, set a call up with me, like right away.
And if you decide that you're not going to do the 6 weeks, then just take everything that we've shared with you and apply that and make it work as best you can. And if there's one book that you could read as a substitute to the tools,
Substitute. There's no substitute.
well, not all the tools, but
Yeah.
like the
As a supplement.
the second O, open.
Yeah.
There's a book, Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best books. If I were to say one book, just read that. If you're not going to do anything else and you just want to go there and make that work for you, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer.
Yeah, that's the same book I would recommend.
You get obsessed about that book and apply that, you'll see results.
Absolutely.
But we do hope you join. And Phoebe, I'm excited for you too.
Yeah. Yay. Yeah, so exciting. Thank you all. Love you all. Thank you for your loving presence, for your beautiful faces. And have a beautiful, beautiful night. We're going to be sending lots and lots of love and blessings.
Yes, much love. Thank you all.
Yeah. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.